According to human history, many living creatures have evolved biologically in order to survive, protect, differentiate, etc. During the project on evolution observed, I could figure out 5 different species that evolved in order to stay in the world. First, Staphylococcus aureus, which is a bacteria, evolved and became stronger than antibiotics. The bacteria Staphylococcus aureus, also called MRSA, is the cause of community infections. This evolution happened because being stronger was the only way for the bacteria to survive. Therefore, it mutated every time when a new antibiotic came out. Second, mosquitoes are evolving to survive from insecticides. Especially Anopheles mosquitoes that spread malaria to humans are becoming resistant to pesticides. For example, the boost on the activity of enzymes degrade the insecticide before it reaches its target in the cell. And as the picture shows, the evolution of mosquitoes occurred by natural selection, which makes consequent offsprings to receive adaptive behaviors from survivals in order to survive. Next, tomcoes in Hudson River evolved rapidly in order to survive from a toxic chemical called PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls, which recently flew into the river from hundreds of industrial and commercial applications. There has been several cases where mosquitoes being resistant to certain insecticides or bacteria being resistant to certain antibiotics, but this is the first time that this happens to a vertebrate. The researchers state that 2 of the amino acids in AHR2 disappeared, which made the cohesiveness of acceptor and PCBs to be weak and led to the resistant tomcoes. Fourth, jewelweed plant evolved to survive from its predator, deers. According to an experiment done in Cornell Plantation, jewelweed plants that were exposed to deer tend to produce more seeds than those that were protected from deers. Researchers think that this evolution occurred in order to have more descendants that can survive. Finally, tawny owl's fur color is decided by a pigment called pheomelanin. Recently in Finland, where the climate has been less colder than usual, the owl's fur color is getting more brown. Also, not only in Finland but also globally, there is an increase in brown owls in the past 48 years. The 3 graphs in which A is frequency of brown tawny owls in Finland from 1911 to 1980, B is frequency of brown tawny owls in Finland from 1981 to 2008, and finally, graph C is the frequency of brown tawny owls nationally, and these 3 graphs support the evolution. This is because brown owls tend to camouflage better in the woods compared to white or gray owls. Likewise, many species have evolved to become more stronger to stay in the world, and still many species are evolving. And for most of those species that evolved, survival was one of the main reasons for their evolution.